um, being a Toastmaster means more than simply making a commitment to self development. Everyone who joins a Toastmasters club is making a commitment to the club, to its members, and to the organization as a whole. The mission of our club, the mission of Toastmasters, is to provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which each member is empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self confidence and personal growth. During our course of our meeting, we will refrain from speaking about sex, religion, and politics. As a matter of hygiene, we would expect everybody to keep themselves on mute unless you are the speaker. We would request you to keep your video on so that the speaker has someone to speak to. But if you are moving out of the video frame, we would want you to keep your video switched off and start it again when you're back. When you are unmuted, we request you to keep your phone on silent. With this hygiene in place, I would hand over the baton to our presiding officer, Dr. Saurabh Patil.
Thank you so much. I did not ask. I'm sorry, I'm actually traveling. That's why, but yes, thank you so much. Welcome to meeting number 134, and welcome everyone. And so, are there any DTMs in the group?
I don't believe so. The DTM is joined.
Okay. Any guest? Any guest today?
I think Parth is a guest. Parth.
I think Parth is here. Oh, Parth, welcome back, Parth. Welcome back to the meeting. Parth again. Parth and you are connected. All right. I see a very few attendants. Someone is from the agenda. Okay, let's start. So, first of all, a big congratulations to two of our members, President Sai and Pranav, for winning the area contest. Now they'll be going on to the next division level. I think that's held on 28th April, if I'm not wrong, correct? So, big congratulations to them. And everyone, please be there to cheer them up in the next contest. Also, we have something called as Elephant, which is going to be held in Silvassa, that's closer to Mumbai. So for whoever it is possible, please do attend. It's going to be a hell of a event where there'll be a lot of speeches, networking, and everything. And okay, now, so I read our theme is about dystopia. So I wanted to share one thing about dystopia. About dystopia. Dystopia, as the best part about dystopia, it can be a utopia. It can be beneficial for somebody based on where you are, what area, which side are you to benefit. That's again one trivia about dystopia. But I think I won't go into details because the Toastmaster Day would be taking it over. That's it. I think let's get on with our show. It's not waste more time. Do we have a guest, Somnath?
Yeah, yes. Hi, Toastmaster.
Hi, Somnath. How are you?
Yes.
So what brings you
Yeah,
to,
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. What brings you to BKC Fireflies meeting?
Yeah, actually, last time I had joined one ISA context BKC. So there were the quality speeches. So this time I wanted to be a evaluator for a speaker, but I think somehow one speaker backed out. So I'm switched to the another role as our counter. So let's see. But yeah, I will get a chance to listen Cyril Paul or like a big speaker. So that would be learning for me today. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, we could hear you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me today. Back to you, Toastmaster.
I think Saurabh's facing network issues. I see him moving in slow motion. Saurabh's not. Yes, Saurabh's not around. Therefore, over to you, Toastmaster of the day, Sai Ramachandran.
Thank you so much, Cyril. I knew I could depend on you to pass the baton along as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Saurabh was having some technical issues because of which he had to drop out of the meeting, which is why I'm taking charge of the meeting as the Toastmaster of the day without much of a self-introduction. So let me do a bit of self-introduction in that case. My name is Sai Ramachandran, and I have been a Toastmaster since before COVID. So you can imagine how long I've been a Toastmaster. So I was a Toastmaster when COVID was not even a thing that people talked about. We have a few guests in our room, and I think Saurabh wanted to talk to some of the guests before he dropped off. We heard from Somnath first. Let's maybe listen to a couple more people, and then we'll start the actual meeting itself. Meher, are you in a position to talk to us before you drop off for your other meetings?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
All right. Video is not on, so I'm going to assume that you don't want to be spotlighted. So welcome back. We've seen you before. So maybe you could tell us, we'll give you a challenge because you're a Toastmaster yourself. So asking you boring questions about why you came here and all is not going to be fun. We're going to give you a challenge. Your job is to tell us the name of a book that you most recently read and why that book was good. For 30 seconds.
All right. Challenge accepted. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. The book that I read most recently was A Brief History of Education. I've sort of forgotten who wrote it, but it was a professor at Columbia University, who was a professor there about a century ago. And it was a lovely read. It's part of my course reading, the class that I have to leave for in about 30 minutes. And it was an excellent read about the evolution of education from the time of the hunter-gatherer civilizations to 1907. And it was fascinating. It was fascinating because it was like a mirror of the evolution of human thought, that what actually led to the need for language, and then what actually led to the need for writing. It started with the religious class, which actually had to encapsulate as the civilizations grew more and more complex and the learnings grew more and more complex, they had to record the teachings in order to pass them on to their followers, and so on and so forth. So it had some writings on Greece and other, even Indian education, Jewish education. So it was amazing. Thank you so much.
You read the signals. Yes. Thank you so much for telling us the story of this book that you read on education. And you said that you're going for a class which is on the topic. Are you getting a degree in education or something?
Yeah, it's a postgraduate certificate in education. So it's like a 60 credit hour course. And then I can always extend it to a diploma. And then if I keep going, I'll get a master's. So yeah, that's the plan.
And are you looking to build a career in education?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I do teach.
You teach already. Okay. So what do you teach right now?
I teach math.
All right. So whenever you get a chance, you should come back and tell us the story of your experiences as a teacher or as an educator, and plus this course that you're doing. It'll be fun for us to listen to. All right.
Awesome.
Parth, I know we didn't get to hear from you, and it's the second time you coming to our meeting. Do you want to do a challenge as well, or shall we just move on to the next thing?
Yeah, I can. I can take the challenge. Yeah.
All right. Your challenge is not going to be as simple as.
It's not been very long in Toastmasters, but yeah.
All right. So let me add it to the spotlight. And your challenge is to tell us why baseball. Do you follow cricket?
No.
All right. Which team or which team sport would you be interested in following if you ever followed a team sport?
So
30 seconds.
20 seconds.
30.
30 seconds. Okay. So if I want to follow any sports team, I would follow IPL, and in that I would follow Mumbai Indians. I think that team wins, and the way it is managed and the people who are managing it, that makes that team to win every time they get into playing cricket.
All right. So I think what Parth is saying that he likes a winning team. So he's only going to support teams which win. So I think Gujarat Titans is doing well. They won once already and they were in the finals the second time. So if you look at pure numbers and percentages, not numbers, percentages, I think Gujarat Titans is pretty up there when it comes to a good team which wins regularly. All right. So we have a DTM in the room. Let me quickly acknowledge DTM Ramanathan, who's joining us as speaker number 3, I believe, or is it speaker number 2? We have to look at the agenda. So that reminds me to please ask all of us who are taking up roles to put your role name in front of your name. For example, Cyril has put speaker 2 and Ramir in front of his name and things like that. So please do that. It'll make life easier for people like me who are supposed to manage the spotlighting and all that. Please do that. And when you're done, give me a thumbs up or just make sure that I'm aware that this has been done. The other thing that I want to mention is that this meeting is being recorded. So if you have any reservations about it, or if you want your speech not to be recorded for privacy reasons, or because you are competing at a contest or something, please let me know. I'll make sure the recording is turned off when your speech is up. Other than that, I think we are ready to get started. The meeting theme is fixing urban dystopia. Now, one of the key insights that social scientists and thinkers came up with is that humans are actually a very social animal. It doesn't seem like it when you're seeing countries fight wars with each other, or when you see people arguing on the streets about something. You don't feel very social. But the reality is that humans tend to want to be with each other. They tend to want to be close to each other, physically close. And they've developed complex languages. They've developed division of labor. They've sort of reached it's an expression of who they are from within. That the social instinct that comes from within is being expressed in terms of language being developed so people can communicate with each other, and division of labor happening so that people can specialize in things that they're interested in, so because they can trust the other person to want to use their skills. So those things are examples and indications of a human's social instinct. In fact, this was an insight that I myself realized not so long ago when I moved to a foreign country to live there for a few years. And it was so strange. When you read it laid out like that, it feels so amazing. Now, if you've ever watched a dog on a street, and if you see that dog approaching a street that it's not familiar with, you will see that it's alert, it's scared, it's afraid that the street is going to have other dogs who are either going to fight with it, or going to bark at it, or going to chase it away. The same thing happens with puppies. If you had a chance to rear puppies, you'll realize that when you take your puppy out for a walk, I'm going to mute Bhuvi if you don't mind. All right. So what I was saying is that if you have puppies and you realize that those puppies will always get nipped at by other dogs around them because they're establishing a social hierarchy. So the risk to life and limb for a dog is very high when they go outside their safe zones. So if they are on Mahatma Gandhi Road, the stray dogs of Mahatma Gandhi Road will not go and compete with the stray dogs of Jawaharlal Nehru Road. That's not going to happen. But humans are not like that. A human being traveling from one country to another can expect to be treated reasonably well, can expect that their life and limb will not be in danger unless they end up in a war zone or something. It can happen, but 99% of the time when you travel from Bangalore to Mumbai, or Mumbai to Istanbul, you're not getting shot at. Nobody's going to bite you because you're from a foreign country. And that is, again, an example of the social instinct that makes us want to first make connections that eventually fight later. But the instinct is to live and let live. And that's the key insight that came out from my travels and understanding of the world. Now, this cities that we live in, the societies we've built, they're still a little bit, no, I shouldn't say a little bit, they're actually very bad for health. The way we've established societies, they're not good for your health. And let me give you a few examples of that. People are dying at alarming rates because of, young people are dying at alarming rates because colorectal cancer is picking up. Then the risk of heart disease and heart attacks among people who would not normally be at risk for such events is going up. Then different types of lifestyle diseases are rising simply because of what they say is because of social the environmental and social and environmental reasons is why that is happening. And people attributing it to the stress levels of living in cities. So it is a bit of a dystopia that we live in. It's not the kind of societies we want to live in. And the expression of that, there's an expression, as people, we are expressing that dislike for the dystopia we've built in two ways. And I'm going to discuss those after I talk about the rest of this meeting, so that the meeting can also proceed while I'm telling you a bit about the dystopia we live in and how we can fix it. While society is dystopic, Toastmasters meetings are the complete opposite. Everything happens in sequence, everything happens with good planning. And one of the things that happens really well is that we have a team which supports the execution of any meeting. And that team consists of the timer, the hour counter, and the grammarian, whom I'll be introducing next. And then I'll be telling you a little bit about the meeting itself. So let us see if I can find the timer. You know what? Let me start with the grammarian. The grammarian was Cyril, and I'm sure he's going to have some funky, crazy words that he wants to share with us. Cyril, can you tell us a bit about your role?
Yes. Hi, good evening. Audible, visible, everything else?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm the grammarian for today's meeting. As a grammarian, you can think of me as the language quality control person of this meeting. I shall be paying very close attention to all sorts of language that we use, good language, not so good language, and I shall be presenting my report to the general evaluator whenever called. It's also my duty to give the word of the day. And true to BKC Firefly spirit, I'm not going to give a word of the day. I'm going to give you words of the day. And Sai is just going to start cringing in his seat in just 30 seconds. Everyone keep watching Sai. Go to gallery mode and keep watching Sai. The word that I'm going to talk about is rectum. Yeah, rectum. Yes, I saw Niyamat give me a reaction. Rectum is that part of the body where the sun doesn't shine. It's that part of the body where the poop literally comes out. Rectum comes from a longer name. It's called rectum intestinum. All right. It comes from the Latin word rectus, which means straight. Your intestines are really long and winding, whereas this part of the intestine is straight, which is why it's called rectum. The rectus part of rectum is also found in other words like rectangle, straight lines, rectangle. Another word that's got the same root is direction, a straight line, the shortest distance between 2 points, direction. Correct, straightening someone. Erect, standing straight. And the word of the day for the dystopian story that Sai's been telling is rectitude, which means you're morally straight. Rectitude. I don't want you to use this word of the day. Feel free to use any word of the day that contains rect, except for rectum, unless you can meaningfully put it into your speech. And that's it. Back to you.
Rectum. We hardly knew him. That's the inside joke when it comes to any jokes about rectum. Thank you so much, Cyril. My moral rectitude prevents me from using the word rectum in the meeting, but I'll make sure if I do use it, it'll be in a positive, understandable way, not as a curse word. Our second role player that I want to introduce to the meeting is the R counter, who happens to be Somnath. Somnath, let me add you to the spotlight. Please tell us how you do this role.
Yes, good evening all, fellow Toastmaster and honored guest like me. My name is Somnath, and today I have a privilege to serve as an R counter for this club. My role is help to become a more aware of the filler words and improve your speaking skills. As part of my role, I will be counting number of times the use filler words or a sound during the meeting. That include so, any other necessary pauses or sounds. I have like a recommendation for the when you speak, try to avoid a filler word. You can replace with small pauses instead of that. So it will help to in my work also. And I believe since you have a cerebral Paul, so I believe I don't have that too much work to count all the things. So yeah, I remember he had given a training on these things. That's it. That's all from my side. Thank you all for the speaker, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Mr. R. Counter Somnath. Our final role player that I wanted to introduce to the club, the person who's going to keep us on check when it comes to time, is the timer for the evening, Toastmaster Sandhya.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as the timer is to keep the time. And we all know that time is money. So it's extremely important that we stick to the time that's been set in the agenda. There are certain time limits for the prepared speeches, the table topics, and the evaluations. I will announce the timings for the table topics segment and the evaluations when I am called by the table topics master and the GE respectively. For the prepared speeches, the usual time is 5 to 7 minutes. So I will be showing the green card. I will be sharing my screen like this. Like this, and this gray screen that you see here will become green at 5 minutes. At 6 minutes, it will become yellow, and at 7 minutes, it will become red. That's all from me. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. And if you could please stop sharing the screen, that would be wonderful. Thank you very much. I have a request to make of the second speaker, DTM Ramanathan. Please go ahead and put the speech title and your project evaluation guide on the WhatsApp group that has been created for the meeting, so I can keep track of it while when your speaking turn comes up, because you'll be speaking next and we don't have that information, and your evaluators are waiting. So do the correct thing and please share the information with the rest of us. Our first speaker for the evening is a person who has brought accolades not just for himself, but by extension, by osmosis to BKC Fireflies itself. And that person is none other than our speaker one for the evening, Toastmaster Cyril Paul, who started his career making money. And then he continued his career afterwards making voices. He's a voice artist now, and we'll be listening to his speech starting soon. But before that, I have to highlight, it's my job to make sure that his evaluator gets a chance to tell us how she plans to evaluate Toastmaster Cyril's speech. And that evaluator is evaluator number 1, Sangeeta Shruti, whose video is not turned on yet. I see you now. Sangeeta Shruti, how do you plan to evaluate Cyril?
Toastmaster Cyril is doing level 3 elective project, which is connecting via storytelling. So his project objective is either to use a story as part of his speech or to use the story as a speech to connect with the audience. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Toastmaster Cyril, Sandhya, can you please share your screen and start the timing signals? The speech duration is 5 to 7 minutes, I take it, and Sangeeta Shruti?
Yes.
All right. Speaker 1, Cyril Paul. When a man loves a woman. When a man loves a woman, Speaker 1, Cyril Paul.
If you ever ask anyone what's man's greatest gift of love to a woman, chances are, if you're part of this subcontinent, you would say it's a Taj Mahal. And I'm here to quickly disabuse you of that notion. When a man loves a woman. When a man loves a woman, he gives her diamonds. Because after all, diamonds are a girl's best friend. But in this story, the man who gifted the diamond was also a diamond himself. He was none other than Sir Dorabji Tata, the eldest son of Jamshedji Tata, who was the founder of the Tata Empire in India. And the woman that he gifted the diamond to was a diamond herself. In fact, she shares her name with the teacher who's attending this meeting. Her name was Lady Meherbai Tata, his wife. The Tata Group has done so much for India that individual contributions of members like a JRD Tata, a Ratan Tata, Dorabji Tata, Jamshedji Tata, they're all eclipsed by the magnitude of the achievements of the Tata Group. But that doesn't mean that they are anyways insignificant. Meher Bai Tata, or Meher, as I like to call her, she was a woman like no other. She championed the cause for women's education. She championed the cause. She championed the cause to end child marriage. She was an expert pianist, and surprise, surprise, she was also part of India's Olympic team for tennis. She played tennis wearing a Parsi sari. Can you believe it? That's Meher for you. The diamond in question was a Jubilee diamond, which was excavated from the mines of South Africa in 1895 by a consortium of London merchants. It's called the Jubilee diamond because Queen Victoria was going to have her diamond jubilee coming up in 1897, and it would take 2 years for the diamond to be cut and polished to be included in Queen Victoria's crown. The diamond was the sixth largest diamond in the world. It weighed 245 carats, twice as big as the Kohinoor. Well, the diamond was called the Jubilee diamond because it had to go to the diamond jubilee crown of Queen Victoria, but fate had different plans. In 1900, there was the famous Paris Expo, the World Fair at Paris, and the diamond was exhibited there. It was a cynosure of everyone's eye. And it also caught the eye of a young industrialist called Sir Dorabji Tata. He paid a small sum of 100,000 pounds to fetch the diamond as a gift for his lovely wife, Meher. Lady Meherbai, or Meher, loved that diamond so much that she encased it in a platinum claw and she put it on a platinum chain around her neck. A diamond that costs $100,000 needs to be insured. And it was heavily insured, so much that the insurers would fine Dorabji Tata 200 pounds each time the diamond was taken out of the vault from the bank for Lady Meher to wear. The diamond played a huge role in the history of the Tata Group. The Tata Group was doing really well. They had the Taj Mahal Palace Hotel in Bombay. They had a small company called Tata Steel. It was known as Tata Iron and Steel Company. They had another small company called Tata Power, which is known as Tata Hydroelectric Power at that point of time. All these companies were fledgling companies, except for Taj Mahal Palace, which was always a grand five-star hotel in Bombay. The story is about Tata Steel. In the second decade of 1900s, we had what we call the Great War or the World War I, which threw the economies of the globe into a tizzy. And then came the third decade of 1900s, 1920, the 1920s. Japan, which was a huge market for Tata Steel, faced an earthquake and prices crashed. We had labor problems in India. We had material shortage in India. And in 1924, one morning, Sir Dorabji Tata got a telegram. It said that we don't have money to pay wages to people at Tata Steel. The existence of the company was at stake. Sir Dorabji Tata, being the diamond that he is, he pledged his entire wealth to State Bank of India, then known as Imperial Bank, to get a loan of 1 crore rupees, which saved Tata Steel. The things that he pledged also included a certain diamond called the Jubilee diamond. But thanks to the Jubilee diamond, livelihoods were saved. And as the company progressed, the diamond came back to Lady Meher's neck. In 1931, the unthinkable happened. Lady Meher passed away due to cancer. When a man loves a woman, he doesn't outlast the woman. In 1932, Sir Dorabji Tata passed away. But before he passed away, he willed his entire fortune, including the Jubilee diamond, to the Dorabji Tata Charitable Trust to do certain things that he really, really wanted to. And among the many things that he wanted was setting up the Tata Memorial Hospital in Mumbai. The Tata Memorial Hospital was the first comprehensive cancer treating hospital in the world, or rather in India. It was unthinkable, the expense at that point of time. But he so wanted it, and the trustees of the Tata Trusts, they actually had the hospital started up within 10 years after him passing away. Lakhs and lakhs of people visit the Tata Memorial Hospital for getting cured of cancer. 64,000 people on an average in a year. And 70% of those cancer treatments are done free of cost. All because of a diamond, which was gifted by a man to a woman because he loved her so much. I don't think there's any other diamond in the history of the world that has actually touched the lives and the livelihoods of so many people. So, my friends, the next time you hear that man's greatest gift of love to a woman was the Taj Mahal itself, well, you know the truth. Back to you, TMOD.
All I can think of the pressure on people like me. You have to, first of all, you have to not outlive your wife by too much. Secondly, you'd better have access to diamonds. Otherwise, you're nowhere anywhere close to this man and his great achievements. But actually, the story is very close to my heart because a few people do know, many people don't. I grew up in Jamshedpur, which is also the Tata Iron and Steel Company's factory is in the city of Jamshedpur. The Tata Motors has its heavy locomotives division in Jamshedpur. So that this story makes me look at the Tata family with more than already the respect I have, simply because they were a wonderful patron to the city of Jamshedpur. Yeah, it's a company town, so you can a lot of stuff that you expect work and then doesn't work. A lot of stuff that doesn't work in India actually works in Jamshedpur really well. For example, the water out of the tap you can drink. You don't need an RO purifier to drink the water. Crime is low, and good things happen there. So as far as dystopias go, Jamshedpur is not really a dystopia yet. Who knows how it's going to change in the next few years? But for now, it's great. And thank you so much for sharing the story, Cyril. It was a wonderful story. And I want to just add a little more color to the topic of dystopia. Dystopia is happening around us, and the symptoms of that and the outcomes of that are the people who are wanting to get out of this dystopia. And this is an example. This is a symptom, and this is what is happening today. Right after the pandemic, a study was done about where people want to invest their money, and the ultra high net worth individual people, the people with the most money, 62% of them said at that moment that they wanted to invest in real estate. 32% of them wanted to invest in real estate in high rises, which is fine. I mean, even high rises in India, good sell. It's a safe choice. But the remaining 30% wanted to invest in farmhouses, which means that they don't want to live in cities anymore. They want to get out, and they don't want to see people anymore. And that is a symptom of the dystopia that we find ourselves in. All right. The dystopia, since I've talked enough about dystopia, I'm actually going to talk about something. I'm hoping the second speaker for the evening. Oh, Cyril, is there something you wanted to add?
Yeah, there's a mathematics teacher in the room, and I'm the grammarian. You said 62% wanted to invest in high rises, 32% wanted to, real estate, and 32% wanted this, and that's 94 already. You don't have 30% after that for farmhouses.
No, 62% wanted to invest in real estate. Out of the 62%, 32% said the high rises, 30% said farmhouses. Nobody wanted to live in buildings like mine. So that's the only sad thing. So I'm not buying, no high net worth individual is coming to my house to buy property. Anyway.
This is what comes of having a finance person for a grammarian.
We asked for it. We walked into this trap by Cyril. He's going to check our math. He's going to check our English. This guy is deadly. And he's mostly correct because he doesn't speak without a good reason. Our second, nominally third, but our first speaker had to back out. So our second speaker for the evening is DTM Ramanathan. I'm going to ask him to turn on his video. And while he's doing that, I'm actually going to spotlight the person who's going to evaluate him. Toastmaster Niyamat, over to you. Please tell us how you plan to evaluate DTM Ramanathan.
Hello, am I clearly audible and visible?
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'll be evaluating the speech to be delivered by distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan. He will be delivering a project, Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. The purpose of the project is for the member, that is the speaker, to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. It doesn't have to be a speech on what is mentoring, but rather how in his life he has been influenced with mentoring in whatever aspect that is. I wish the speaker all the very best, and the speech will be for a time period of 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Toastmaster Ramanathan, Sandhya will be turning on the timing signals. Will you be able to see it as, so I think you're using a mobile phone. Will you be able to...
I am on the mobile phone. I'm traveling. Unfortunately, the plan was a bit delayed. So I couldn't reach my house. So I'm still on the way.
Will you be able to see the signals, or do you want...
Yeah. Can you hear me and see me?
We can hear you. We can see you. Yes.
Go ahead. Can I start? The moment you can tell me I can start, I will start.
Let me introduce you. Speaker number 2, DTM Ramanathan. My mentor, PGR. My mentor, PGR, DTM Ramanathan.
Your mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself, remarked the famous talk show host and actress Oprah Winfrey. Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests, good evening. How many of you have mentors in your life? Personal, professional, and of course, Toastmasters. Please mark a thumbs up in your show. Thank you. PGR was a great person. His full name was PG Radhakrishnan. And he was my mentor in Toastmasters. Let me take you back to Saudi Arabia, Jubail, the eastern province. Jubail was the second largest industrial city in the world. It was the year 1998. When the first Toastmaster Club was started in Saudi Arabia, eastern province. And the name of the club was Jubail Toastmasters Club. I attended the chartering meeting and I was asked to become a member. But my dear friends, my fear that when I go on stage and I talk and people will ridicule me stopped me from becoming a member in that club. Things moved on. And every week when there is a meeting, PGR will come to pick me up. Because in Saudi Arabia, the club where the meeting was going on was about 22 kilometers away from where I was residing. I was not driving. And without a car, it is very tough to travel in Saudi Arabia. But PGR ensured that I accompany him to the meetings regularly. And he was coercing me, telling me, Rama, forum is going to benefit you, believe me. But still, I did not get the confidence to go on stage. But then ultimately, after about 3 years being a guest in Toastmasters, my company where I was working, known as AYTB, started a club. They sponsored 50%. And in AYTB, in our club, there was a philosophy. AYTB, otherwise AYTB. It means always yes to boss, otherwise all your trouble begins. I had no choice. I joined Arabian Toastmasters Club. And my dear friends, when I attended the meeting in the Toastmasters with the help of PGR, who was always accompanying me to Arabian Toastmasters Club also, and he guided me, I felt I have made the biggest blunder in my life of procrastinating of joining this wonderful organization. With the help of PGR, in those days, it was communication manual containing 10 speeches, which I finished in 7 months. And out of that, 9 times I got the Best Speaker Award, thanks to PGR. He went through the speeches meticulously and ensured that he was sure that I am going to give a wonderful speech. As they say, he was a man of lot of moral support for me. And also, irrespective of when the contest was, where the contest was, he ensured that all my contest speeches were completely analyzed And I'm very happy to tell all of you that because of him, I have won in many contests. And that gave me a confidence that go and participate and do your best. Winning is just a consequence. This philosophy of his is even today in me. And that is the beauty of a mentoring. So, my dear friends, if you got a mentor in your life who can understand you, who can say a few lines about himself, and it takes a personal interest in and helps an inexperienced person, he is the real mentee. The mentor like PGR, he serves as a role model, a man who has got insight and he sees that the mentee should reach the position that he is supposed to be taking a position. How many of you have had that luck? Let me tell you what happened to me further when I reached India after leaving Saudi Arabia. Here, my mentor was Toastmaster Vittal Madiwal. Many of you might have heard about it. When we meet, we discuss even how the role as the Toastmaster of the day, how I have presented myself as a general evaluator. We will discuss and they will give me ideas where I could have done better. And that is the beauty of the mentor. The mentor helps you to gain confidence, to understand the process of the club and the different roles it presented. And nowadays that pathways has come up. He also helps me in familiarizing with how as a member I can progress in my pathways. So my dear friends, a mentor is not just a person who guides you or supports you. He is more than that. He is your coach. He is your behind the back support for anything you do in your life. And you can be sure that he is available for you by 24/7. I was very lucky that I had a mentor like PGR in the Gulf. And today I am having Toastmaster Vittal Madiwal. Overall, I should say, because of their training, today I have become a mentor to some of the mentees, and they are also happy that I am doing a good job. I tell you, be supportive, be kind. But in the end, always remember a mentor is one who only guides you but doesn't force things on you. As my famous say is, Sabka suno, man ka karo. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
We've been hearing about really great people. First, we heard about the Ramji Tata. I'm drawing a blank on the name, but the person before this was talking about the person who loved his wife so much that he didn't want to stay on earth for a year, more than a year without her. And then we're hearing about PGR and Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan's other mentor. So we're surrounded by great people all around us. And one of the things that we need to do to get out of this urban dystopia that we find ourselves in is the first idea that we need to accept is that there are consequences. One of the things we don't do in India is that we do not embrace the idea of mistakes, actions having results. We sort of assume that actions don't have results. We sort of assume that even if there's a result pending, that result can be deferred or delayed or even denied by either through the power of influence, the power of money, the power of simply walking away from the problem as if it's not our problem. So one of the first things we need to do to fix this urban dystopia that we find ourselves in is, ladies and gentlemen, to accept that actions have consequences, and those consequences have to be proportional and they have to be immediate. So this is a sort of a philosophical place to find ourselves in. We've been led to believe through osmosis, because of the way we live, that society, that life will give you a result for your actions. You yourself don't have to wait for the results to come and hit you. I mean, do your job, like the scriptures say, do your job and don't wait for the results. Don't expect any results. And I think that is actually hurting us as a society, because we are finding ourselves in a place where people can break rules with impunity. People can take liberties and take advantage of the situation, of the setup that we have with impunity, knowing that no action, no consequence will follow. For example, people going the wrong way on roads, people honking in the middle of the night in front of a hospital. Those are all horrible things to do as people. I mean, you're just being selfish when you are going the wrong way, when you're breaking the rules of traffic, when you're breaking the rules of civilized society, you're spitting on the roads, you're messing up you're littering everywhere. Those are things that you should not be doing. You should not be doing. But since there are no consequences to that, since you assume that you can get away with it, society as a whole suffers. And I think somebody talked about this, I think a couple of speeches ago, when they talked about the tragedy of the commons, where common spaces, the places we all inhabit together, are being destroyed and disrupted by people who are being selfish and not worrying about the consequences of their action. And that's the first thing, first suggestion I have for society. Please remember, or let's ask for consequences to happen to people around us. For example, if somebody's going the wrong way, make sure we complain, make sure we let the police officers know that we expect better from them, the traffic police officers. We let them know that we expect better from them. We want them to actually take action on the people going the wrong way and causing disruption, littering, loud noises, all those horrible things that people do. Let's make sure consequences follow. And that's our first thing. The second thing which will happen if we don't keep to our schedule is that the consequences of not matching our schedule will mean that we cannot end our meeting on time. And to make sure that we do end our meeting on time, we have to move on to the second segment of our Toastmasters meeting, which is impromptu speeches. And the person who's going to handle that for us is, wait, what happened? Bhuvi. Bhuvi, are you the table topics master?
That is correct. I am.
Okay. I was for some reason I kept thinking that Niyamat is handling table topics, but then I noticed that she's doing general evaluator. So Bhuvi, let me add you to the spotlight. Let me put you on the spotlight. Over to Bhuvi to handle table topics for us.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, TMOD Sai, fellow Toastmaster, and guests to BKC Fireflies. I will give a short introduction on what table topics are. Table topics enable a member to develop the skills of impromptu speaking and help train members to quickly organize and express their thoughts. A table topic speech is a mini speech with an opening, a body, and a conclusion. It gives a speaking opportunity to all those people on the call who may not have an opportunity by way of a speech or a role in the meeting today. I will be asking for people to volunteer for the table topics, and from first come, first serve, and a little bit of my own volition, I will be calling upon those who volunteer to participate. Each speaker must try their best to use the word of the day in their speech. And the word of the day, as Cyril has kindly reminded us in the chat box, is any word that uses the word root rect, which basically means erect, correct, rectangle, rectum, rectitude. Any word which uses the word root rect is the word of the day. So without further ado, I will ask people to volunteer for the first table topic.
I volunteer Suniva.
Okay. All right. All right. Toastmaster Suniva, your table topic is cities, concrete jungles, or places where dreams come true. Cities, concrete jungles, or places where dreams come true. Toastmaster Suniva.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Concrete jungles. Today, in this busy world of bustling streets, the noises of the vehicles, the bikes, the pollution, here, there is everywhere, there is chaos. Everywhere, there is constructions going on. There is so much pollution. so much noise, so much loud lights, all this in this concrete jungle, we hardly find any peace today. The trees are being cut down. All we see is buildings everywhere, from small rooms to huge stories buildings. Everywhere there is just chaos. Everywhere there is, you find yourself nowhere but alone, but still crowded with people, crowded with buildings. Even though you may find everything overwhelming, but still, in this concrete jungle, somewhere we have to see peace. Look out for your inner peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudhiva, for that wonderful speech on of finding peace in a city. Now for my second topic, I will again ask people to volunteer, and if not, then I will take upon the mantle to choose a speaker. So any volunteers? You. Okay, then okay, all right. Toastmaster Kalpana, I will request you to
go near a light somewhere. Thank you. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So Toastmaster Kalpana, your table topic is technology. Does it add to urban dystopia, or is it a medium for utopia? Your topic again, Kalpana, technology, urban dystopia or utopia? Over to you, Toastmaster Kalpana.
Technology will need to be dissected and resurrected if I talk about dystopia and utopia. I actually think technology is a dystopia. The reason for it is wherever I go, whether I'm traveling, whether I'm at home, whether I am among friends, whether I am taking a walk, whether I am sitting in silence, I feel everyone glued to their smartphone, making them dumb and dumber. Why are they glued to their smartphones? They have no idea who is talking to them. They have no idea as to how they should communicate. Their impatience to watch those reels or the Instagram page or to see the Facebook makes them disregard anyone who is next to them. Another point, whenever you put your mobile in charge, I have realized that they just take off the charger and carry their mobile with them and go. Do they switch off the lights? No, that's where I feel it's a dystopia. Do they actually even bother to answer you when you're asking something? No. And I'm not just talking about the present generation. Even my husband, his dystopia begins with the TV. Come have dinner. Eh? Come, the food is ready. Eh? He has no idea if I have spoken, what I have spoken, why I have spoken. Don't you think, Toastmasters, that's not right? Communication skills is going downhill. So Let us resurrect the communications and bring in the utopia. Contest chair. I'm sorry, table topic master.
Toastmaster Bhuvi, I believe Countess Somnath has put his hand up.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Toastmaster Kalpana, for that wonderful insight on technology. And as Toastmaster Somnath has put his hand up, I will request him to be spotlighted. He has already been done so. So Toastmaster Somnath, your topic is Orlando Bloom, Paris Hilton. What do you think about people being named after cities? I'll repeat the topic once. Orlando Bloom, Paris Hilton. What do you think about people being named after cities? Over to you, Toastmaster Somnath.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Table Topic Master, for a wonderful and correct topic. Yeah, but when I think about the city name, so as a Maharashtrian, I always think about the generation of the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Like I see, I did my engineering from the Veer Jijamata College of VGTI Mumbai, but earlier it was Victoria Jubilee something. Now they renamed it to the Veer Jijabai. Like we earlier we have a VT. They then changed to CSP Chhatrapati. Like they did same uh for the airport also. Right. In one Aurangabad city they are changing to the like Sambhajinagar. So what is happening here? So everyone is like the inspiration for their for idols, right? When they say like Victoria Jubilee or any other foreign leader name in our city, so that there is no respect for our culture or not for our idol. If you don't keep uh, city or any city name to our idols or our ancestor, so our coming generation may not may lost name of their our generation sorry, our ancient leaders. So that is a good way to keep the name like Mahatma Gandhi Road. Or these are I always believe in that actually like LBS Marg, Lal Bahadur Shastri. So that thing should be there actually to inspire the people and inspire the people for their values and all, and like they are freedom fighter and all. So I believe those should be there. I think Sachin Tendulkar name will come after some time, like any bridge or something. That's the motive to keep their name forever in the history of Indian culture. With that, thank you so much for having me today, and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Somnath. Timer, do we have time for a couple of more topics?
Yeah, we do have time.
Okay, fine. All right. So I will ask somebody else to volunteer. Who would like to go next? If nobody is volunteering,
Parth is volunteering.
yes, okay. I'll ask to spotlight Parth. So Toastmaster Parth, your table topic is what does the city you live in look like under a microscope? I will repeat. What does the city you live in look like under a microscope? Toastmaster Parth, over to you.
Yeah. So, what does my city look like from a microscope? I would say, so I live in Delhi. So I think everything is messed up. I would say the pollution is so much that it might reduce your lifespan by at least 5 years. if you don't take care of yourself, the roads are not built up, are very old and not built up as the houses are built up. The societies are increasing, but the roads are same. I think everything is messed up. The things are improving a lot, but metro connectivity is quite good in Delhi. But if I compare it with other cities in India, it would be good. But if I compare it with any developed city, so it is quite messed up, and we need to improve a lot. So I think it is to conclude, it is messy, but still the street food is good to eat. It is quite pocket friendly, and you enjoy a lot with your friends eating the street food. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Tabletop. Thank you, Toastmaster Parth. Any volunteers for the next table topic?
Yeah, I can. This is Sai here. If nobody else wants to do it, I can do a tabletop.
Okay, all right. So Toastmaster Sai, your topic is the Big Apple. Toastmaster Sai, Big Apple. Yeah, please, over to you.
I have lived in the Big Apple, and everything that you know about the Big Apple is true. And there are a lot of things about the Big Apple that you don't know, which are also true. For example, the train which enters Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, near Ground Zero, there's a big poster. There used to be, at least, it's probably moved now. They had this huge poster which said that everyone should live in New York for at least a few years in their youth, but they should not make New York their permanent home because it hardens you. They should live there to experience it, but not make it their permanent home, because living in New York hardens you. And that is exactly my experience with New York City. I lived there for about 7 years, 7 formative years. They were the years where I discovered that I could run a marathon. They were also the years when I discovered a lot of truths about myself, that I actually am a very lazy person. I don't like cleaning, but I do like cooking. I thought I had an artistic bone. All those things were, I did not think I had an artistic bone, but I tried a few artistic things when I was living in New York. So the Big Apple, ladies and gentlemen, is an amazing city. Everyone should live there at least once in their life for, I would say, a year, 2 years. Go experience it. And once you do, you will grow more in those 2 years than you can imagine. You will see how a big city can function without having to make compromises on public transport, on all those silly things that we sort of assume will not work in a big city. It's a great place to live in. You should definitely go live there. And once you do, and once you've walked around, picked up a bagel and a coffee on your way to work, like they show in the movies, you'll remember those moments as cinematesque and picturesque moments of your life where you were living the New York life. And of course, the entire thing about New York is speed. It's about getting things done, and it's definitely worth living there. I don't know what the topic want me to do. I just loved my 7 years or 6, 7 years that I lived there, and I think everybody should do it once. If you haven't done it, go do it. Go live there for a few weeks at least and enjoy it. Come back, and then we can discuss the ins and outs of New York. Back to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sai, for that very nice real life, experience of living in New York. It is one of my dream cities as well. And I hope I do get an opportunity to live a couple of years in the Big Apple. And yeah, so I'm sure other people on the call also now are motivated to follow in your footsteps, and hope to get an opportunity to live there. Timer, do we have time for another or 2 more table topics?
Maybe not. Or one last one if we do have a volunteer. Or
Sure,
we can.
sure. All right. So any volunteers?
Niyamat wants to.
Niyamat has just raised her hand.
Yes.
So the ones who would take big roles would not be allowed to do table topics. That's how it used to be. But now that the table Toastmaster Day has done it, I just have to.
Okay, all right. Okay. So Toastmaster Niyamat, your topic is small town blues. I will repeat. Your topic is small town blues. Toastmaster Niyamat, over to you.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests in the room today. Small town blues. It's interesting how this topic has shown up for me today when I just jotted down a sentence saying that the table topic master seems to have picked out topics very suited to the speaker in question. I come from a small town, and interestingly, I don't have small town blues. Rather, I have greens and yellows and oranges. I have big town blues. And I'm slowly beginning to embrace the big town and taking a cue from the previous speaker, whether it's a big apple or even a metro city like Bombay. It offers you so much, but I think that is where the problem also lies. There's just too much to take in and too much to do, and so many places to be that you kind of lose a sense of self sometimes. And so I feel that rather than having small town blues, every once in a while, every one of us should move back to a small town to just get in touch with our own selves. And that's, I think, what I like to tell myself. And probably it could be something that we all could take a cue from, that, yes, okay, small town may be less advanced, may not have all the, let's say, infrastructure, facilities that one looks for and is aspiring for in life, but that can still come. And you can go spend 7, 8 years in a big city, but a small town is ultimately where we can build families, where you can build a beautiful home, where you can connect to people faster because you don't have to spend hours in the train. So for me, if you ask, there are no small town blues. It's all a rainbow, rather. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Niyamat. And also all other Toastmasters who so actively participated in the table topics for the day. I specifically enjoyed the wide variety of speeches and experiences that we heard, right from the role of technology to New York and small town. Now I will hand over the baton to the Toastmaster of the day to introduce the next section. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Your topics were very well chosen. And I felt exactly what Niyamat was saying, that somehow you managed to pick topics which are appropriate for the speaker by luck or by chance, or maybe you thought it through, but they were very good topics that you chose. And thank you so much. I will take this chance to maybe ask our timer to tell us the timing reports for both the speakers and the table topics participants.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. I was waiting that somebody would call me up to announce the timings, and thank you for correctly doing so. As far as the prepared speakers go, Toastmaster Cyril took 7 minutes, 17 seconds. Toastmaster Ramanathan took 6 minutes, 27 seconds. So both of them have managed to keep up the time. As far as the table topic speakers go, Toastmaster Suniva took 1 minute 59 seconds. Toastmaster Kalpana took 2 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Somnath also took 2 minutes 18 seconds. Toastmaster Parth took 1 minute 35 seconds. Toastmaster Sai also took 2 minutes 18 seconds, and Toastmaster Niyamat finished at 1 minute 52 seconds. So I'm glad to say that all speakers have qualified, both prepared and table topics. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you very much. Dystopia. We have to finish that conversation about dystopia. The second thing we need to do to fix urban dystopia is to accept that not everything that you see out there is going to be perfect. And we have to adjust our way of living to support the lifestyle we have, the society we have built, and not dream of a society that is going to be, is reflective of a different country in a different time. For example, in Bangalore, what they've done is that they've put these barricades on roads, so you can only go in one direction, and for the most part. So what ends up happening is that people go the wrong way. We're not going to be able to change that, because the consequence of putting all these barricades between the both sides of the road is that to go say 100 meters in this direction, you have to go the opposite direction for a kilometer before making a U-turn. So what we should be doing as a society is to accept that we made a mistake. Either you fix that, so you put brakes on your barriers and let people cut across and go to the other side cleanly, or you say that every road will have a certain lane dedicated to reverse traffic. You have to accept it. I mean, that's just how it is. We're not going to fix all the roads overnight. And if we do that and we streamline the flow of traffic in such a way that you are allowed to go the wrong way legally without risk to your life and limb, I think that will by itself start improving the flow of traffic. The second thing when it comes to flow of traffic is that we need to start pushing out all those people who park on the sides of the roads, either to wait for passengers, cabs which wait for passengers, or autos which wait for passengers, people who go block the bus lane or block the buses from coming into their bus stops. Those things need to be enforced. So it goes back to the previous point about accepting that consequences of actions will happen. And we should be enforcing these rules that we've made. We have amazing rules. We have an entire constitution which has hundreds of amendments and articles. We've been doing so much work in getting the rules in place. Now let's start enforcing them as well. And that can also help improve the dystopia that we find ourselves in. These Indian cities are really difficult to get through. So small things will make a difference. Clear the roads and accept that Indian cities are not going to be similar to the US cities or foreign cities. We're going to have reverse traffic coming the opposite way because we've made mistakes in our urban planning, and work around that by letting people go the wrong way. That's the second thing we need to do. The third thing we need to do, but in a Toastmasters meeting, is to get people to listen to the evaluations. We have to call up our general evaluator, Toastmaster Niyamat, to tell us how we did as a meeting and also give the evaluations for our speakers. Toastmaster Niyamat, over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sai. So yes, I'm here as a general evaluator. And as a general evaluator, it's my responsibility to make note of the let's say things big and small that were done well in this meeting and could have been done better, so that we improve as a player in Toastmasters and also do better with each meeting. But along with me doing my role, I also have a team of the timer, the account, and the grammarian, who are also going to facilitate this role. So I'll quickly call each one of them. I think Toastmaster Sandhya has already kind of performed her role, but yes, Toastmaster Cyril?
You'll be calling the evaluators first and then the...
Yes, sorry, my bad.
I can give the timing guidelines for the evaluations.
Yes.
Yep. So the timing guidelines for the evaluations is 2 to 3 minutes. So the green card will be displayed at 2 minutes, the yellow at 2.5 minutes, and the red card at 3 minutes. The speech evaluators will be disqualified if they go beyond 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sandhya. So very quickly, we had 2 speeches in the prepared speeches segment. Both those speeches have been respectively evaluated by evaluators. Just one side note, although it is an evaluation, it is also a speech, even if it's for 2 to 3 minutes. I think we kind of miss out on that sometimes. So if the evaluators, I'm telling myself, if we want to work on that. All right, with that, I invite Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, the evaluator for Toastmaster Cyril's speech, to kindly present her evaluation. Thank you.
Can the timer be spotlighted? So,
can you see it now?
Yes, I can. Am I good to go?
You're good to go.
Toastmasters, friends, namaskar. I am Sangeeta Shruti. My target speaker today is Toastmaster Cyril Paul, champion speaker. I don't need to tell you. One thing I loved about Toastmaster Cyril's speech is pitch perfect pauses. It is very rare to find a speech which has pauses in the right place at the right time. Aristotle's challenge to be angry at someone at the right time, at the right place, the right way. And he did it with pauses. Excellent. He told us a story of how a man's love for his woman bought her a diamond, and the diamond turned into an entire history. The diamond which saved their empire, a diamond which did and does and keeps on doing good. This entire speech was based on beautiful stories. It was based on smooth transition. It brought out to us that era when people bought expensive diamonds, the claw, the chain. Very nice description. The story also went in a direction which we had not expected, at least I hadn't. When I heard the topic, I thought it was going to be a mushy romance. Well, it wasn't. It was a story worth listening to, story worth repeating. Few things I have as recommendations for Toastmaster Cyril, but I also have a challenge for him. First thing, how many of you will raise your hand and support me when I say it was a soothing, beautiful, even-paced speech? Ladies and gentlemen, can I have a show of hands, please? I agree. And that's my bone to pick, Toastmaster Cyril. Even-paced speech in today's day and age will not reset your audience attention. You need to reset the audience attention every few minutes to make sure they're with you. You had beautiful description, you had beautiful stories, but you did not hit highs or lows. Your voice was medium paced. Again, this would put someone or dull someone's interest or would dull someone's attention. A challenge for you, Toastmaster Cyril. You spoke about a woman who was bought a diamond by a man she loved. A diamond which saved his empire. A diamond which today is behind the Cancer Research Institute. How much emotion? Why didn't the emotion touch us? Why was it a story? Why was it a narration of events? This is my challenge to you, Toastmaster Cyril, to get us emotional, to get us to a point where by the end of the speech, we don't want to applaud because we haven't come out of that emotional soup you've put us into. With that, more power to you, Toastmaster Cyril. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, for your evaluation. I'm sure Toastmaster Cyril will correct and resurrect soon. And with that, we move on to the second evaluation that will be delivered by me for the speech delivered by Toastmaster Ramanathan. Can we have, is he here in the room?
I don't believe he's in the meeting anymore.
Okay, then I shall still proceed with the evaluation, right?
Yeah, yes, please do that. I'll share the recording with him.
Okay, because he was in the room just a minute ago.
Not sure what happened.
All right.
He did say he's having network issues.
Okay, fine. All right. Toastmaster Sanjay, can we have the timer's cards, please? Yeah, he just messaged. All right, let's not. Okay. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and a special good evening to my currently in absentia speaker, Toastmaster Ramanathan. I congratulate you on delivering another fantastic speech because considering you are a distinguished Toastmaster, you've done this a lot. Your project required you to speak about a mentor or speak about your experience of being a mentor and probably sharing an experience with a protege. I congratulate you on having done both. You have spoken about your experiences of having a mentor and at different time points in life, One when you were a newbie and you didn't even know what Toastmasters was, and one when you had to leave a nation and come to India, and then get to know more about Toastmasters and understand a whole different experience, or I would say a different take on how mentoring is done. I congratulate you on number one, starting with a question. It's always fun and it's always interesting to have the speaker open with a question because it kind of grips everyone's attention. And secondly, you also open with a quote with none other than Oprah Winfrey, somebody that we all know or have at least heard of. So that kind of makes us all a little more aware of what you're speaking and where you're going. Second, you spoke interesting anecdotes of your life when you were in Saudi Arabia and how you got to know of Toastmasters and how you built relationships and friendships. And I liked how throughout the speech, it was interspersed in bits and pieces of what it means to have a mentor. You mentioned that they helped become a moral support for you. They helped instill confidence in you. And I really want to applaud you for having this zest for learning because it's rare that people actually want to constantly improve, constantly want to one up what they were in the last round. And considering you have been a distinguished Toastmaster and have delivered speeches, you still want to get better. And for that, I have just a few recommendations for you. One, I felt that throughout the delivery, although it was a story and what is your own experience, at the end, you kind of went low on your pitch. Maybe that's how you were trying to end your speech, but I felt that as the energy dipped in the end, the interest also dips in the end. And in that respect, somehow there was a disconnect from what you were speaking and what you were listening because you were staring into the camera and we couldn't really focus you on the big screen. So maybe next time when you have to deliver a speech, you can ensure that you're using a laptop or a bigger screen, or at least facing the camera where you can look and talk to all of us. And lastly, if you are using any other language, it requires a translation. So that's something that I would like you to incorporate in your forthcoming speeches. Other than that, it was fantastic. Thank you. And okay, it's back to me now. So yes, so the evaluation round was successfully completed. With this, now we can quickly, yes. Okay, and now we can move on to the tag team to quickly come forward with their report. Toastmaster Sandhya, I'll be calling you in last. We will now call the R counter who hasn't had a chance to pitch in at all. So Toastmaster Somnath, kindly share with us how well have we done. Over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, General Evaluating Niyamata. It was a great session. I couldn't find a lot of chances to take a pen in my hand and note down. So to all speakers were the flawless, especially our prepared speeches. I didn't find wrong with them anything. No no no. So everything was perfect. And starting with our Toastmaster of the day, Sai Ramachandran. He take a pause for like 3 times, for a 4 time, for a 2 time, so for 1 time. This is not much, but I saw that he came frequently on a stage, so that was the cumulative observation, not for one incident. Going ahead with the Sunena, only 2 pauses, everything was fine. Other than that, so I've just observed so pause. So for a Sunena, 1 2 pauses, so everything else was perfect. Kal for Kalpana, Toastmaster Kalpana, 1 For Parth, 1 Niyamat also, you were also fantastic. One couple of pauses, but that was not that much long. So to note down. And Sangitra Stuti also flawless. Also like suggesting the pauses uh, to this like appreciate it's like she appreciated how well Cyril pauses uses pauses. She also demonstrated perfect pauses. Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah, kudos to every speaker and role player. With that report, back uh, to the general evaluator. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Somnath, for your quick and detailed report. Now I'd like to call the man of, I wouldn't say the hour, he's the man of every meeting, I suppose. As Toastmaster Sai would agree, I'll call upon Toastmaster Cyril to give his, I'll give him a challenge. Can he wrap it up in 2 minutes?
No, no, for the love of words, no.
Yes, go for it.
Very quickly, let me do a run through with this. Word of the day was used by Toastmaster Sai, Toastmaster Bhuvi, Toastmaster Kalpana, resurrected. Wow, thank you. Toastmaster Sandhya, and Toastmaster Niyamat. Some lovely words. Dystopia. Dystopia is a society with great suffering and injustice and all of that. Lovely word. Accolade, another word for award. I love that word. Volition, when you volunteer. Volition, volunteer, they have the same root. Utopia, the idealistic, the opposite of dystopia. Zest, that's such a lovely word. Zest means enthusiasm and energy. Protege, not many of us know this, but protege comes from a word that means protected. Yeah, you're a mentor, you're protecting your protege. Some lovely phrases. Concrete jungle, that itself, it's wow. Glued to their smartphones. Yeah, evocative language. Someone said building, and the word building is such an interesting word, right? Because a building is a building even if after you finish building it, right? It's never built. The Big Apple, New York. You know, Bombay is called the city of dreams. Jaipur is the pink city. Prague is, I think it's a city of 100 spires or something, and Paris is the city of love. Small town blues. I love the way Toastmaster Niyamat played that. I don't have small town blues, but I have greens, yellows, and oranges. I don't know if the orange reference came because Nagpur has got oranges, whether I do not know, but there was clever wordplay there. And I love the way she ended that speech. I don't have small town blues. It's a rainbow. Wow. Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, Aristotle's challenge. Anyone can be angry, but to be angry with the right person to the right degree, I had to look it up. Thank you for giving us that one. I guess that's largely it in terms of Toastmaster DTM Ramanathan. A mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope in yourself. Lovely, lovely quote for us from Oprah Winfrey. Something which we all say, Sandhya would agree with me, Toastmaster Sandhya would agree with me, as in her role as a VP, participate. Winning is just a consequence. Yeah, thank you for reminding us that again. Not so great usage. Someone said loved lights. It's bright lights, not loved lights, not loud lights. Put mobile in charge, put mobile for charging or on charge. His dystopia is that he does blah, blah, blah. Dystopia is the wrong word. His weakness, his flaw, his shortcoming, his fault would be the right way to say this. That's largely it. Oh, yeah, but Toastmaster Parth, roads are not built up as the houses are built up. Wow, thank you for that sentence. That's largely it from my side. I really enjoyed this meeting. Back to you, General Evaluator. I think I exceeded 2 minutes.
It wouldn't be you. All right. And now we have Toastmaster Sandhya. How much time does the timer get?
Both speech
Who will
evaluators.
measure?
Sorry?
That's my time. Both speech evaluators qualify on time. That's my time. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Well done. All right. Thank you, tag team. You all have done a very good job in keeping to your time and sticking to your role. Very quickly, as a general evaluator, yes, it's a tough task, but we tried. So I'll just quickly run through certain things that I've jotted down. Number one, we started exactly on time. So kudos to BKC Fireflies team. Toastmaster Cynthia, she was the sergeant at arms and she delivered the opening statement, and she started the meeting on time. So I think that's a plus for us. However, Toastmasters sort of had to drop off because of poor connection. So that's a minus for us. And that's something that we can probably work on. We can probably ensure in advance that if someone is traveling who is supposed to take over, although we have very able gentlemen in the room who can always swoop in, but we still need to be prepared beforehand, I feel. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sai, as usual, he did a very good job in ensuring that all the members as well as guests were engaged and interested in the meeting. Because I still remember the first time that I joined a BKC meeting was because of this. The guests are really given importance in the sense that they are invited, included. You spend a few minutes extra. I mean, it's not simply protocol. You spend those few minutes extra to discuss and ask them something more than merely where they come from. Then we come to Toastmaster, then we come to the speakers. So although the evaluators have done their job, Toastmaster Cyril and Toastmaster Ramanathan, lovely speeches. So great to hear you both. As a grammarian, Toastmaster Cyril, I loved that you came up with a very risky word, because there are so many ways that this word could go. But for having clarified it very much in the beginning and then made sure that we used it once again, because you reminded us in the middle. Timer, as always, attentive and prompt. The grammarian, I've already mentioned. I don't hear me. Yes, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Very interesting choice of topics. Very, like we already discussed this in the meeting, that somehow you managed to pick the topic right for the person, as though that happened just on point. Or very surprisingly, today I was discussing with a friend about how much Tatas have done for India, and it was like half of Toastmaster Cyril's speech that we had a discussion about, and 3 hours later I'm in the meeting and he's talking about the same thing. So it's interesting how these things work. And yes, Toastmaster Sai, you spoke about dystopia. Now, when the word dystopia sounds so negative, but throughout your delivery of when you kept giving us examples and you kept giving us takeaway messages of how we should ensure that we're not very bogged down by this, you weren't very upset. You weren't cranky or angry. Even if you're saying that some things are not happening the way they should, it was not very negative. And I appreciate that, because again, bold choice to use to talk about a topic that we all know and all are, let's say, suffering from, but it's good. So I appreciate that. A couple of things that I wanted to just clarify. Does the general evaluator call upon the timer, accountant, grammarian in the beginning?
In many clubs, they do. In our club, we've asked the TMOD usually to cover that.
Okay, all right. Okay, I think that's about it. Everything else, there's loads written, but thank you very much for this opportunity, and back to Toastmaster Sai.
Thank you very much. And in my role as the Zoom master come Toastmaster of the day, I'm going to launch the polls so that everybody can have their say on who did well in the meeting. But before I do that, let me just make sure that Sandhya is no longer a co-host, because we don't have enough voters voting. All right, the polls are now launched. Please go ahead and have your say. I hope I updated everything correctly. Yes, I got everything correct. Okay, so while that is happening, we have a few things to wind up on. The last thing that we can do to make our dystopia a little more utopianish, utopic. I don't know if there's a word like utopic. Cyril, correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a word like utopic? Utopian? Utopian. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you so much. Yes, we worked it out together. To make it more utopian, the human brain needs a little bit of silence. So if you need to honk, don't. The reason why people honk is because they're not able to read the road. They're not able to predict what is going to happen in the next second, because they are not able to read the road. Then there's people do unpredictable things. There are surprises, and the reaction to surprises is honking. But keep in mind, when you honk, it's like screaming. It's not directed at anybody specific. The person you're honking at doesn't know you're yelling at them specifically most of the time. And it's just disturbing to everybody else. Would you, for instance, vomit in the middle of in a group, you'd move to the side and then vomit? Or would you, for example, throw your trash in the middle of the road? You would not. You put it in the dustbin. Your horn, your automobile horn is the same way. Your shout is basically a shouting, and nobody knows why you're shouting. You don't want to be that person. The second thing we need to do is to create green spaces. Our son, we have a 4-year-old, 3.5-year-old at home. He has fallen in love with Bangalore because there are so many green spaces here. It's not perfect, but it's much, much better than the other cities we've lived in. We can walk to a green space from his school. He enjoys it. And I think as humans, we need that little bit of connection with nature. And most of our cities are not doing that well. We're not investing in creating a space where you can just let your hair down and not risk getting run over. Many cities they use the areas below a flyover as a little green space, but you're not allowed to go in there. Nobody goes and spends time there, but we need to start doing that more. And that's another thing that can make our dystopia a little bit more utopian. I hope I have made my case where that this dystopia that we live in can be fixed. The fixing involves a little bit of accepting that your actions have consequences. So if you're punished, if you're challaned, and it should be done visibly so that people. So, okay, one thing, and I think I'm going to take a couple more seconds of your time. We do know that police officers do challan you if you're doing something wrong on the road. You do get punished, you get ticketed, but it's not visible. And I think one of the things we need to do as a society is to accept that visible punishment so that people are stopped, their cars are impounded, or their vehicles are impounded, they are punished right on the spot visibly, but other people seeing this action being taken is of value, and we should support that even if we're the people suffering from it. The second thing we need to do is silence in green spaces. We also talked about something before that, I'm forgetting that, but that's basically how our cities can become more livable. And believe me, as social animals, we don't actually want to separate out and go into suburbia, because one of the things that happens in suburbia is that there's a lot of mental health issues that come from being alone, not having people around you. And we don't want that for us as a society. A country of 1 billion people cannot afford a mental health crisis. And mental health crises happen a lot when people move to suburban surroundings with nobody to talk to and nobody to be with. So that's one thing to work to. The only way to fix it is to fix the cities that we already have. And to do that, we need to do a few things. That's what we talked about today. With that, I have the results, which I'll be handing over to the presiding officer of the meeting, who happens to be a stand-in presiding officer because our first presiding officer had to drop off. Let me see if I can get the second presiding officer to turn on her video. There you go. Sandhya, the rest of the meeting is yours to take to a conclusion. And while you're doing that, I'll send the results to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, and all the other role players who participated in the meeting and for making this meeting a great success. Before I announce the results, I would like to speak to a few members. We have some members who've not officially members of PKC Fireflies, but been a part of this family because they've been attending a number of meetings on and off. We also have people who have attended the meeting for the first time. So I will go with the latter first. I would like to speak to the person who played the R counter today, Toastmaster Somnath, and ask him his views about the meeting. But before I do that, I need to mention this, and I will fail in my duty as the VPE of this club if I don't do that. Toastmaster Somnath was originally supposed to do a speech evaluation, but because the speaker backed out, he gracefully agreed to be the R counter, a role player that we were looking for until like 20 minutes before the meeting started. So I must thank you, Toastmaster Somnath, for agreeing to do this. And this also goes to show the spirit of Toastmasters, that we all act as a team. And any role that we take adds to our knowledge, adds to our growth. And I'm sure that is the thinking that Toastmaster Somnath had before he agreed to do this role. So thank you very much, Toastmaster Somnath. And I promise you that as the VPE, I will make it up with you whenever we have a speech evaluator role. The next time I'm going to ask you first to see if you can take up the role. But tell us, how did you like the meeting?
Yes, thank you so much. Those words are like encouragement me to join this club back. Because the initial reason to join this club is like I'm being just honest, like because of the Cyril Paul, because he gave us one uh, education session based on the how to like exercise, because I have a lot of problem with my pronunciation and all the things, but he guided me, and I came to know that he is the speaker, so that was the main motive to join this club as an evaluator, and also listen to him also. But next time he won't be the my only motivation to join this club's meeting. Like Sandhya said, uh, their all speaker were flawless. Even TMOD, evaluator, and everything was great, and a lot learned from today's meeting. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Somnath, for sharing those beautiful words. DTM Ramanathan, are you there? And are you in a position to speak? Okay, while DTM Ramanathan, yes, he's here and you are home.
I am in a relative's place. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Please tell us how did you like the meeting and what feedback do you have for us as a club?
I joined the meeting a bit late, but still I really enjoyed the meeting because I was really appreciating the way you are handling the situations. This is something we learn in Toastmasters. And it was the language used by all the speakers, role players, everything was really great. I should say, because I'm coming from a vernacular medium and my English is not so good. As the evaluator also said, you will have to translate and some of the things she mentioned. So this is the thing. So we learned a lot of things because using the language effectively and efficiently. I was looking out for that word restitude. I was time and again trying to bring that in my speech, but I couldn't. So much. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Distinguished Toastmaster Ramanathan, for those lovely words. And I'm glad that you enjoyed the meeting. Let me now, we still have a few minutes to go. So I'm going to quickly ask Parth. This is the second time, Parth, that you've attended this meeting. In 30 seconds, tell us, was there any one new thing that you learned in this meeting? You also attended the last meeting, I remember. So one new thing that you learned in this meeting.
Yeah, I think the table topics were really inspiring and unique. I have attended many meetings of Toastmasters of different clubs across Delhi and Mumbai. But I think the table topics were a little unique for me, which I noted down, and I will be definitely using them. So that was the unique thing. And the Big Apple headquarters, I would be seeing that how it looks like, the feel from a YouTube video maybe. Other than that, I think this was the takeaway for me, the table topics. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Parth. Definitely, the Table Topics Master did an excellent job. And with that, I am going to move to the awards. We'll probably come back to Sangeeta Shruti and Toastmaster Kalpana after we officially call off the meeting, because we want to end all the meeting on time as well, just like we started it on time. And as our guest Parth rightly said, the Table Topics Master was really amazing today. And that is why she has been voted as the best primary role player. Many congratulations, Toastmaster Bhuvi. Very well done as the Table Topics Master. And I agree with everyone. Multiple people have said that the choice of topics was amazing. And I completely agree with them. It was an amazing choice of topics. Everything was related to the theme, but at the same time, so different. So congratulations, and for that job, very well done. The best table topic speaker is shared by two speakers, and they are the other two primary role players of the meeting, Toastmaster Sai and Toastmaster Niyamat. Congratulations to both of you. You have been chosen as the best table topic speaker for the evening. And let us go now to the best speech evaluator. And that is none other than Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, who had quite some challenges for her target speaker, Toastmaster Cyril. And it will be interesting to see if Toastmaster Cyril, I'm sure he accepts those challenges and how he performs on them the next time. Congratulations, Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, very well evaluated. And we have 2 more awards left. That is the best prepared speaker and the best auxiliary role player. And both the prizes go to the same person, the person who double-hatted the role as a grammarian and a prepared speaker, Toastmaster Cyril Paul. Many congratulations. The room thinks that you did a wonderful job as a prepared speaker as well as an auxiliary role player. Congratulations. And I must say it was a very interesting choice of words as the grammarian. You didn't have a single word, but a list of words, and we had to actually think of coming up with words that contained word direct. So that's a quite different and unique challenge that you gave us. And yeah, I personally really loved it. Toastmaster Sangeeta Shruti, did you have anything to say?
No, I applauded.
Okay. All right. So with that, I will declare this meeting closed. Thank you all again for joining us and for a lovely evening. Enjoy your dinner if you haven't had it already yet. But although this is officially closed, and I request the Zoom master to stop the recording, but we can still continue to exchange ideas.